Unicorn Circuit.
Welcome to another episode of the Unicorn Circuit, your weekly dose of Fanking, car news, weird stuff off the internet, Unicorn Eat Bag, Your Town, My Town,
and
cars.
Driving SuperGramps, just for something a little bit different.
Well, it is something different. We're actually on our way to a car dealer at the moment. That's the worst.
Yep.
That's just actually
It's like
the
going
worst.
to the dentist, isn't it? But it costs even more.
It's like going to the dentist, but you know what you're going to get done. You didn't actually need to get done, but you have to pay for it anyway.
Exactly, and like going to a car dealership is like if you could go to a dentist who's the next door neighbour and he would do it cheaper, you would, except that doesn't exist.
Exactly, and when you're looking at like something that's quite specific, like if you're looking at like, let's talk about Ford Falcons for 1 second, right?
Yeah.
You can get a station wagon, you can get a sedan, you can get a Ute, you can get an XR6 Turbo,
AU wagon on gas.
you can get an X taxi car,
Yep.
you can get something with a steel tray in the back.
Yep.
There's like so many versions of like one particular platform, and if you're after a Ford Falcon Ute that's this colour with this engine and this thing and that, it looks like there's heaps out there. Once you actually put in your criteria, there's not as many out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, we're not buying a Ford Falcon Ute, don't worry, but we are going to a dealer to have a look at something. Martin, I do believe that it is time to kick into the car news, and today's show is actually huge, isn't it?
Yeah, there's lots to talk about. Heaps to talk about.
There's so much to talk about.
I've got no notes because I have to watch the road.
Yeah.
And all I can tell you is in front of me there's a car, his number plate is B Godly, and behind me there's a WRX, and I can't quite read his plate, but I think it's custom. Maybe you can read
Number
it.
plate is when I'm going to have a look, mate. Just slow down a bit so we can have a look. Let me see what it is. Let me see what his number plate is. His number plate is Broker. Also known as Chopped. Anyways, so let's just hook right into it. This is Unicorn News.
This week on the Unicorn Circuit News, there's a couple of cool cars coming out of the woodwork. We've been speaking recently about how manufacturers are making heaps more turbo cars, and they're doing it for emissions, which is boring, but some of the stuff that's coming out is awesome. Like there's a new Renault Clio, 1.6 litre turbo, 165 kilowatts.
It actually looks really good.
Thank you very much. Like,
Yeah,
that's amazing. And where were those cars before? Like they used to be, I think, 2 litre naturally aspirated. They were over-engined, which made them fun. But now it's like it's a light engine, it's turbo, it's 160 kilowatts, and you can just buy it straight off the showroom.
There has been a lot of talk, obviously. We did this interview recently with a Rave It Up TV. We'll put a link down the bottom. And we were talking about a Renault Clio, what do they call it? Clubs? A Sport or something? What do they call the little blue ones? Anyway, I reckon we should get one of them sometime, man. Like, it would just be fun and just battle it against some other weird little nugget.
Speaking of other Euro cars, there's also Alfa Romeos, which don't usually cross my radar much.
They're rare in Australia.
They're rare in Australia.
My dad had one in the late 80s.
All right.
Yeah.
An Alfa, it's probably broken down.
Do you know what he replaced?
MX-5.
Nope.
What?
It was before his MX-5. A Ford Falcon LTD. Yeah, so
Power windows.
Just power everything.
Digital dash.
Digital dash.
Amazing.
Power everything. And usually broken. So like those kind of mid-80s Falcon LTDs are just famous for being always broken.
So at the moment, Alphas are famous for having weird names like the
Giulietta or Guiglietta.
Guigla. We sound really uncultured by not being able to actually pronounce that.
I'll do you the perfect pronunciation. It's the Guiglietta.
It's the Giulia.
Oh, is it?
Anyway, they're making a 480 kilowatt version. And they get to that number by using the same system that F1 cars use, with the regeneration. So they sort of, brakes or however they do it, and then they just put it to an electric motor and smash it.
Marty, speaking of race cars, this is what else came up this year. Autonomous race cars. So we're talking like, I don't know if we're talking Formula One or what, but this company...
race cars sounds kind of boring.
This company has come out and basically said all the technology that's being used on the road, we can use it on the racetrack as well. Now, it's not going to like steer for you, like, that kind of autonomous steering that goes, well, you're going to have a crash and steers you out of the way. I don't quite understand how that works. It's not going to do that, but what they are going to say is using that technology, they can stop or reduce the rate of people having crashes both in professional and amateur motorsport.
Is that because the cars are talking to each other and that car knows that if I do 110 up to that car and he's doing 90, I'm going to hit it?
I think so.
Is that how it works?
It's either that or they've got two massive magnets in opposite polarity, and once you get near the back of the other car, it's just pushing it away.
Powered away.
Doing something like that.
Really good powered away. Hey, we spoke about that a while ago. There's a race series that they're trying to get off the ground that's where you watch drones race.
Yes.
Not flying drones, like drone cars.
Yes.
Flying cars.
See, I'm into that because I always loved the Robot Wars. I was watching it last week actually on one of those, those like cheap channels that's not the main channel, and they run weird shows that no one watches.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, anyway, I watched it. And
Did like 100,000 people watch it anyway?
No, man, not many people watch TV in Australia anymore. I had a look the other day at the stats just out of interest. It came up in some news article for, I think it's called like the Channel 10 News First at 5. It's watched by like 300 and something thousand people.
Yeah,
it's like,
much, is it? Australia's small though compared to like the TV market in America with all cable and like that's so much more established, isn't it?
And apparently in America they've got more than 4 channels. You know how in Australia we've got 7, 9, 10, ABC and SBS.
Except they've all got their little second channels now, don't they?
Yeah,
like MCMTV2.
Which is like the second channels that no one cares about or watches because it's what? Nothing. Anyways, what are we talking about again, Mum?
You were talking about TV, race cars, magnetic things. You like
I was watching Robot Wars. So anyway, there's that. Now you may have also seen by now, either over on the main channel of Mighty Car Mods, or you might have read in the newspaper somewhere that we are opening a restaurant. That's not April Fools. No. That's actually happening.
What do we talk about at the end of every single episode we've ever done in the last half a decade?
Food, man. Food, crazy food.
All about food. Kebabs in the Honda Civic thing.
You're going to be able to get your hands on some mad, like deep fried smoky chicken.
Oh my God.
Cheryl's special sauce will be appering, which is basically just punch roasted and white sauce all over the meat.
So good.
It's going to be ridiculous.
I'm hungry.
You're going to get alcoholic thick shakes if that's your thing. Drive responsibly, enjoy, consume responsibly. Anyway, that is pretty big news, but we'd love for you to come and check it out.
And you can go, if you're in Sydney, you can just go there and get some mad food.
If you're from overseas and you're travelling, come to Sydney and check it out. The restaurant is called Wishbone. It's located at 125 Enmore Road in Enmore.
And the chicken is invented by our mate Gregory.
That's right, he invented the chicken. He is
he didn't invent chickens, dude.
Well, he invented it done like this, but he has a famous fried chicken, which Sydneysiders have been enjoying for like 6 years at his other restaurant, Hart's Yard. And now the only place it's going to be available is at our restaurant at Wishbone.
Awesome.
Gregory's designing the menu. It's absolutely incredible. Marty and I have been busy. Like we're helping build tables, getting things together. And I want to go and work there as well.
So do I. I was about to say that.
People.
I was thinking the other day, I wonder if Gregory will let me like do the checkout thing. Yeah. I know that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
We should be allowed to because we own it.
I know, but I don't know. But Gregory might be like, you guys suck and get out and go.
No, that's all right. He'll be in the kitchen making the mad stuff, and we'll be out the front like ringing it up. So anyway, come and check us out, Wishbone. Looking forward to seeing you there. Yes, that's right. There's Wishbones in chicken and there's Wishbones in cars, and there is a vegetarian option for your Julieta. Bring your girlfriend down and pretend that you're classy. That's what we're going to attempt to do, aren't we? Get some champagne. I think there's champagne on the menu, I think. Or Prosecco. I don't drink wine, but I know people do. We're going to put classy things on there so you can take your missus or your boyfriend down there.
Nice.
It's going to be good.
I have one remaining piece of automotive-based news.
Okay.
Well, it's not news, but I want to bring it up. So I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay.
So if you want to go and buy a Tesla,
yes,
right? You know, the SUV one or the fast one, it's like
you can't do it, Martin.
6 figures.
It's too expensive.
Hundreds of thousands of
While
dollars.
we're talking about that quickly, I made a reference recently in another video about in the last maybe 2 weeks ago in the 240Z episode, I was saying a couple of years ago I bid on an R34 GTR,
yes,
and then I'm like, but I don't have $100,000 because that's how much a house costs. And people were like, a house where? That's a good point. You can't even get a parking spot for $100,000. Down in Tasmania, where my family's originally from, you probably can. So
remember when we did Lend Us a Ride, you could go and buy a house out some of those.
Well, you could buy a hole in the ground for $8,000. Remember, out there. Anyway, the point was, I just wanted to clarify that in some places a house is $100,000. In Sydney, you need $1 to $2 million to get started. It is ridiculous, and the average income, I think, is around $50,000 a year.
50,
so you would need to work for 20 years and not spend a thing to afford a house here. So there it is, or to buy a GTR. Anyway, back to the news.
That's the other reason.
The point is, Teslas are really expensive.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So a Tesla's going to set you back more than an R34 GTR, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And that's
a little bit better technology.
That's going to take a while to come down. Batteries are expensive. They're made in America. There's trade, all these kind of stuff. But what is happening, I'm seeing them more and more, is plug-in hybrids.
Yes.
So it's like a halfway point between a petrol car and a fully electric car, because the theory is it takes away range anxiety. And range anxiety is you get in your Tesla, you got 200 Ks, you do your normal trip and you're like, oh crap, I got to go pick up my mate or go to hospital or do something, and you're like,
is it range anxiety when you don't want to go four-wheel driving in your Ford?
No. Isn't it? No.
Oh, that's Ranger anxiety.
Oh
Sorry.
my God. Wow.
Sorry, man.
Anyway,
sorry,
so
man.
range anxiety, and that can be a real bummer, you know, because you know that in a car, and this is a big argument people have against EVs, is in a car it's like you can go to a servo and you can just keep driving, you can drive as long as you can stay awake for, or longer.
I just came up with a joke.
Go.
What's the difference between Cheryl and a Subaru. Nothing could.
Oh my! You can't say that.
Can we?
No, you can't say that. I'm so glad that I beat all that. Because that's bad. You can't say that, man. Someone will lip read it too. And be like, what did he say?
Good. Do you like that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it? I just came up with that.
You know the thing about Shell? Just like SuperGramps. Anyway,
sorry, man. I'm going to let you tell the news.
Anyway, so plug-in hybrids are becoming a thing. You're seeing them more and more. And I noticed, because I went past this Mitsubishi thing, it had a petrol flap and it had another petrol flap on the other side.
Has it got two flaps?
It's for extension cords.
One flap on one side, one flap
Two
on the
flaps.
other side. Can you plug in both at the same time?
If you went to a servo with a charge point.
Okay.
But the point is, like...
I like the idea of that.
Well, I didn't think I would, and now I do, because Prius is right. I mean, they're a hybrid, but you can't plug them in. And the big thing is...
We got to do an LS1 Prius, by the way.
No. So the big thing with Priuses is that they're still petrol cars, because you can't charge them off your solar or your wind or your clean energy if you're into that kind of thing.
Wait on, how do you charge it?
Priuses, they just charge from driving or from the motor running on from...
Oh, that's a bit old school, isn't it?
I think there's new Priuses that are plug-in, but you know, back in the day they were not plug-in.
Here's what you want, people. You want 100 solar panels on your roof. You plug your car in. I've got solar panels, and I've got an electric chainsaw. I bought the Ryobi electric chainsaw.
Do you have solar panels?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I charge my battery
So good.
from my roof,
So good.
and then I stuck that in an electric chainsaw and cut a tree down that was dead.
That is so good.
From the power of the sun.
So I'm a fan. Here's why. So you've got your petrol motor. A lot of them run in parallel or series, so the petrol motor can charge the batteries, or you charge the batteries off your solar panels or whatever. And the electric motor can act as a turbo. Like, it can boost the performance of the car.
Is that what you mean by in series? So it's using the petrol and electric at the same time?
So series is charging the battery. Parallel is using both at the same time to drive the wheels. So you've got the petrol motor making it, 80 kilowatts, and then the electric motor adds to it, or vice versa. Like, I think that's kind of cool, and I'm a little bit interested, and I want to go and drive one.
When you launch, is it launching electric, then petrol takes over, or is it launching petrol, or
Depends on the car, but I think it starts electric because you get all the torque.
Yeah.
And then the petrol kicks in if it either needs charge or it needs boost. Some people don't like them because they're like, it's not a pure EV, and I don't like them with my weird beard.
Oh, because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to like it if someone else doesn't like it, because they think it's not pure.
I think it's a good stopgap between. It's flawed as an EV and it's flawed as a petrol car because
it's the best and worst of both worlds.
Exactly.
But if you want to be pure about your transport, either ride a donkey or walk. And if people are doing things other than riding a donkey or walking, maybe leave them to it. And how's that for a crazy idea?
There ends the news.
There it is. All right, man, let's kick it on into, is that even legal? This week on Is That Even Legal, we're heading to Malta. Now, Malta, we have a lot of Mighty Car Mods fans there. We often hear from them. They're probably the country that sends us the most actual mail.
Yes,
like
and
in the mail.
And they did a mytown recently, which was awesome.
That was great. Now, here's a cool thing, right? In Malta, it's illegal to have your car not washed.
Are you serious?
Yep, fact. Check it. You have to wash your car in Malta.
How regularly?
If your car's dirty, I don't know if it's stipulated, but if your car's dirty, that's illegal and you can get done. That's crazy.
Not a bad rule.
I don't think it's... I mean, in Australia, that really is only going to come into effect if your windows or your number plate is obscured.
Yep.
But basically, you got to wash your car in Malta. So I imagine they've got a lot of clean cars.
Yeah.
And that's probably why people love their cars, because they have to look after them.
Mind blown.
There it is.
Good.
All right, people, let's move it on to weird stuff from the internet. Weird stuff from the internet. Grow some balls. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Big balls take a while to grow. They take 2 hours to start growing and 72 hours to get to full size. Important, these are not real balls. They will not give you a deeper voice. You're just going to have to harden up, princess. Your balls are a sponge and they will leak. Sadly, your new balls will experience serious shrinkage as they get older. It says it's for ages 18 plus. 18 plus is the legal age in Australia for voting and drinking. I don't know why you need to be 18.
Why is there a market for this?
I don't know why there's a market for it. They're non-toxic, which suggests that maybe you would eat them or put them in your mouth. Now, here's the other one, Martin. Designed in Australia, but made in China. The fact they're just made in China. They're just cheap Chinese balls, man. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure why we got sent them.
I don't know why we got sent them.
I assume we're going to have to put them in some water or something, aren't we?
I don't know. I don't know.
I just want to point out, I know this isn't the right section because this would technically be story time, but I just want to note to everyone that we're not moving, and it's not peak hour, and it's not that much of a major road in Sydney.
Yes.
But this is what you spend a lot of your time doing if you drive around in Sydney. I'm sure it's the same in LA and a lot of other big cities, but yeah, I mean, SuperGramps has come on Boost about once.
It is 10:15 in the morning.
We've been on Boost once because that's the only opportunity.
And we're just sitting still, doing nothing. Welcome to Sydney. Next up, it's time for meow meow, crinkle crinkle, do a shit, tinfoil hat cat.
I love the tinfoil hat cat theme song, man. It's
Did
the
you
best.
hear how I put some meows in there?
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
Man, what do we got this week,
So
man? What
this
what
week
conspiracy
on
stuff are you vibing
tinfoil
on? That
hat
I'm going to need
cat.
to cut you down.
Nah,
you're gonna,
man, you're going to...
What are you going on about this time,
So
man?
I picked up a food item the other day, and then I picked up another food item, because as we noted, we do love food. And I picked up another food item, and all three of them said natural flavours.
That's because they've squeezed a fruit with a juicer and they've tipped a fruit juice in there.
No, that's not.
What?
So back in the day, a lot of flavours, the flavours, especially, we're talking mostly junk food here, like, you know, if you go and buy a grape, that's actual natural flavours.
But if you buy Hubba Bubba grape
flavoured,
that's probably esters that are meant to smell like grape. They used to make esters.
They call it natural flavours. So back in the day, you know, you see packages, everything says non-artificial flavours, right? Because artificial flavours are generally made of petrochemical, so they're made of oils or synthesized, right?
Yes.
But the idea with the natural flavour is they got it from the earth directly.
Yeah.
But they might take a strawberry.
Yeah.
And then work out which exact enzyme, like you said, or ester in there, tastes like grape, and put that in your grape chewing gum. So the point is, you don't really know what you're eating, and they don't have to tell you. So if you look at a can of Coke, natural flavours, that's the secret ingredient to Coke that makes it Coke.
Does it say natural flavours on it?
Natural, because they have to write what's in the can, right? Legally, they have to write what's in the can, but they don't have to tell you what's in the flavour, and it's to protect their intellectual property, and it just says natural flavours.
You might be onto something, Martin, because I've got a friend, she's very smart. She's like a doctor of biological whatever, they're trying to bring the dinosaurs back. Anyway, point was...
Has she seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
It doesn't end well.
I mentioned that. Anyway, what she said though about your strawberry analogy here is if you break down a let's H2O, right? Let's pretend a strawberry is H2O. So that means there's 2 particles of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. Is that correct?
Let's go with that.
The 2 goes after the thing.
Science was a long time ago.
There's a bit of hydrogen, a bit of hydrogen, a bit of oxygen in the middle. If you got into a lab and you created something that has a bit of hydrogen, and a bit of oxygen, but it's synthetic, that's water. Because its makeup is the same. Now, if you expand that out and actually take it further and you go, cool, what is the DNA makeup of a strawberry?
Yeah.
My understanding is that if you look at what a strawberry is, then you break down those ingredients into chemical form, then recreate them artificially. You're allowed to say, there's a big accident up there, man, there's police cars everywhere. You break down all the components, then you recreate it synthetically. You're allowed to say it's natural flavours because if you look at the base form of both of them, they are exactly the same.
Well, so here's my question.
So what's the conspiracy though?
Well, the conspiracy is that your grape flavoured chewing gum is actually made out of strawberries, and you don't know it, and you're eating it, smashing it, going, yum, this is good, but it's actually something else different. What I want to know...
Sorry, I think I got it wrong. You're saying that you're getting a different fruit, because this is what people used to say about McDonald's, that the apple pies were actually full of choco, which is a cheaper vegetable. Is that what you're saying? That it's like a different vegetable, but then the ester to make it smell like apple, and you think you're eating apple, but you're eating something else.
Well, this came from the fact I was watching a documentary about Coca-Cola, and the bit that caught my attention was when they said the most common sweetener for Coke is sugar.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which makes sense. And then they go, except in America where we use high fructose corn syrup, and we've spoken about that before.
That's in everything though. They even have that in lube over there.
Yeah, because it's because of the way the markets work and with corn farms, and I'm sure there's a lot of discussion about this stuff because people know a lot about it, same with ethanol, is that it's actually cheaper to use it. And they go, well, it sweetens it and it's cheaper, so let's do it. And that's when you realise that something like that is a beverage that is made to be enjoyed, but it's also made to be as profitable as possible, or you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, you've spoken about that before. You with your friend who makes ice creams or something, right?
Yeah.
That if you can save 3 cents by using a different ingredient, then why?
Well, I mean, that was when I was doing a documentary and I was working with a food technologist. This is like well before Mighty Car Mods or Unicorn Circuit times, when I was a young documentary camera whippersnapper, and I was filming over at this ice cream factory, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "The brief is I got to make an ice cream with marshmallows and chocolate on like a vanilla thing." And there's 3 marshmallows. I'm like, why don't you just cover it in marshmallows. Like, me as a consumer, I want more. And she's like, yeah, because I need to make this whole ice cream for 4 cents. Like, that's the budget that I've been given.
Okay.
And so that's what they got to do. It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy. But just because, I mean, generally what people say is that if you want to be healthy, try and eat food that looks like it did in nature.
Here's another one that I heard.
Or not.
Here's another one that I heard. Go around the outside of the supermarket. Don't go into the middle aisles.
I've heard that. I've heard that the supermarket is like the human body. In the middle is where the shit is. That's a thing. And the outside is where, like, the fun bits of the
I tried to do that, and all I ended up with was lettuce and ice cream. It was great, but I don't think it was particularly healthy.
Delicious. You could have sang choy bao, which is those lettuce cups
with ice cream
in it. There's a thing. We can try that later. Everybody, let's move it on to mycrapcar. Each week, of course, we like to show you guys a crap car that's been sent in from a fan from somewhere in the world. It would be remiss of me to suggest I knew what we were about to show you, because I have no idea.
Because we're still receiving crap cars from the last Unicorn circuit, and that's usually how it works. When we say, send us your crap car, and then we get it, but then we film this, and then we get it like an hour later.
Why is the highway patrol here, Martin?
I've never seen
There's highway patrol, there's traffic emergency patrol, there's a couple of fire engines, and a lot of police.
Whoever this is having a crap day. I'm really glad those people exist, though. I was thinking about this the other day, you know, when you talk about what you get for your taxes and all these fireys and like, we got contacted by the Australian Fire Department people.
Did we do something wrong?
No, they were like, do you want to, like, help us chop up a car?
Yes, absolutely.
I said yes,
and
but I don't have a
ambulance
car to
as
chop
well.
up.
Man, 2 ambulances and fire service.
Someone's had a crap day because something's caught on fire. Oh, it's a Corolla.
Oh no, they've got the stretcher out. That's not good.
Bad.
They've got the jaws of life.
Oh man.
Oh, terrible.
Oh,
the jaws of life is like a thing that we have here in Australia, which helps cut cars out. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I hope you're okay, man.
I have goosebumps, man. That's terrible.
That was a big hit, and that was a little Corolla.
Let's kick back into it. It is my crap car, and let's cut to it.
Hi, I'm Zach, and this is my 1994 Geo Tracker. Hi, Poppy. Geo is an interesting brand. It was like an offshoot from Chevy, and they made badge engineer cars. And the Geo Prism, which was like a Toyota Corolla, and then the Tracker, which was based off the Suzuki Vitara or Sidekick. 4-wheel drive, convertible, little tiny mini Jeep. It's a pretty crappy little rattly box of thin sheet metal. It rusts through pretty easily, which is what I've got plenty of. Mine is disgusting. Found a lot of crap in it so far. Just filthy. Looks like it was never really cleaned that well, which is what you'd expect from a crap car. So right now, I think I've got about a 2-inch lift on it. I don't know when that was put in or what exactly it is, but it does have some aftermarket struts and hopefully springs. I guess this episode is a little different because it's right at the beginning of my project. It's not, you know, near the end. So let's go check it out. When I was 18 or so, I had been looking for a Geo Tracker for months and finally found one on Craigslist in Pennsylvania for $700, which was something that I could afford. So I convinced my best friend to drive me the 250 miles to like Scranton, Pennsylvania to buy this Geo Tracker, and then proceeded to drive it all the way home. I'm very surprised that I made it because that thing was a $700 car and in the condition that you'd expect a $700 car to be. The wheel almost fell off on the way home, but I made it, and my girlfriend at the time went with me, and she is now my wife and actually just drove me 125 miles to pick up this Geo Tracker, so apparently she likes me. You're gonna be on TV!
So there it is. If you would like to send us a video of your crap car, send it into mycrapcar@theunicorncircuit.com. And Martin, tell everybody the video specs.
The video specs. Do it horizontally. You can shoot it with your phone. Try and get some good audio. Try and avoid some wind noise. 1080 by 120.
Oh, whatever. Just hold it that way.
Just hold it that way.
All right, let's kick it into Fank of the Week.
Fanking is the delightful art of recontextualizing an item. Doesn't have to be a food item, but it's cool if it is. By holding it near your crotch can change the meaning. You can add thumbs, double thumbs, triple thumbs, fank with your friends, fank with your missus, fank with your bloke, and have a fanking good time.
So these fanks are all uploaded to the Fanking Facebook page, which is facebook.com/fankingdaily. And here is a selection of this week's favourite Fankaholics. There it is, and of course, Fank of the Week goes to... Well done.
So good.
That is excellent.
Love it.
Please send us in your Fanking photos, upload them to the Fanking Facebook page. Our cheap ass graphics are flashing underneath.
Did you know that
right now?
Fanking had like 200 likes on Facebook, and then we put it on the Unicorn Circuit and it went to like thousands.
Really?
And people love it, man. I see it all the time.
I think
Mad
I
Fanks
saw
on
it in
there.
the Urban Dictionary, which means it's legit now.
So it must be legit.
Martin, it's time to spread our wings and fly and explore a distant part of the world.
My favourite
to
bit.
therefore expand
I love
our
this
brain
bit.
holes
I
and
love this bit.
our consciousness. Let's kick it into my town. My Town is our regular segment where you, the delightful and delectable viewer, delectable? Does that
Become
mean?
a tour guide.
Yes, become a tour guide of your town. We want to see the good stuff. We want to see the bad stuff. We want to see the weird old guy who yells at the plastic bag.
It's like being a tour guide, except everyone who's on your tour is into the same stuff that you are.
That's right.
So you can go to like a car place or a mad food place and everyone's like, this is mad.
Show us the bowling alley, show us your supermarket, chop some lances, and just show us what's around. So this week we've got a very, very interesting place. Let's kick it into my town.
Hello Unicorn Circuit. My name is Tristan and this is my town. This here is Dead Man's Pass. This is the town of Gawler, South Australia. This is the Dead Man's Pass parking lot. And here's my little beastie. 1993 Toyota Corolla 11. Got me chopped fingers on the back window. My twin exhausts. The old classic rake loves the sticker. Marty, I reckon you remember that. I met you at Top Gear Festival 2013. Dead Man's Pass was established in the late 1800s, and it's flooded over a couple of times. Well, quite a few times since then. But it has been over the level of that walkway, and it gets pretty high when we've had a lot of rain. So coming up here is our local cinema, some restaurants, and our Shell servo. I remember the video of the budget track car. It was right there, that Shell servo right there. A little bit has changed since Marty was here last, and that is the inclusion of a Dan Murphy's. It's really not much else, but yeah, you've got a Dan Murphy's. Coming up to the Golden Fleece Hotel, which is on my right hand side. And apparently one of the guys in this subway that I've just passed has won an award for something. Something to do with the way he makes sandwiches. My barber and the Prince Albert. And the Essex House is on the left. And that's just been taken over by a boutique place. Coming up now to the Gawler Caravan Park and our local swimming hole, and a place where I can put my boot into it. And this is the Gawler train station. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Ciao.
So there it is. We would love to hear from you guys. You can send your videos to
mytown@theunicorncircuit.com,
and we will share it on the show, or we won't if you take your pants off again, like the one that we just looked at yesterday before doing this, where you think it's all going to be good, and then guess what? You may as well just be on chat roulette. Hey guys, here's my town, and I want to show
meat swing.
bang. And it's just like, I don't need to see your multi-copter meat planet. So thank you very much.
Multi-copter meat planet. I always thought you were going to say multi-meat copter planet. No,
that's wow.
Multi-meat.
Sounds no,
that's
actually,
like
it doesn't.
That's like when you get combination food. Do you eat combination ever? I've never had.
I see. When
combination
when
fried rice
someone says short and long noodle soup, does that mean it has short and long noodles in it?
I don't know, but combination means that animals that were never in the same area are all put in the same thing.
That's what you call the barnyard, right?
I don't know about the barnyard.
Anyway, there it is this week. Now it's time to kick it into story time. This week in story time, it's less of a story and not much time. Therefore negating the name of the segment.
Experience time.
It's experience time. We're here to have a chat about dealers. Have you ever bought a car from a dealership? Because that's where we're on our way to right now.
And we don't do it much.
We're going to a car dealership in Bankstown. Has Marty Cummins ever bought a car from a dealer?
Once. No, probably more than once, but the one I remember is the Blue Turd. Came from a dealership.
Oh, that's right.
From Y Walk.
Yes, that's right. They're called Y Walk, weren't they?
Y Walk.
But they forgot to do the R in their name, remember? It was Y Walk, or it had come off. It was something weird. Anyway.
Sure, let's go with that.
Didn't it?
I don't know.
I thought there was something weird about that. I have bought a car from the dealer, Martin.
You have?
Yeah. Do you remember what car it was? It was a Volkswagen.
Oh, did you buy the
Golf GTI?
Oh, you bought GTI from a dealer?
GTI. I bought the Mark V Golf GTI from a dealer, and I did it in the ACT because it was like $5,000 cheaper than a car here. I don't know if their rules are different or something like that. So
it's funny like that, isn't it? You go to a different state, and a particular car, for whatever reason, is just less.
Is just less. So, you know, I was having a look around, found one down in Canberra, that's probably 3 hours south of Sydney, bought it from there, drove it back, re-registered, did whatever, and it was cheaper than getting one up here. So I did that. That was actually a good experience because you just go down and you go, it's worth exactly what they're asking for, and then you just go, oh man, can I have $1,000 off because I had to drive there? And then, oh, okay. And then you just buy it and you come back home.
I bought a Polo. I bought my Polo from a dealer.
Maybe it's a Volkswagen thing.
Maybe it is.
How was that experience?
Okay, except, you know, you got to be careful with all the paperwork stuff, don't you? Like, you go along and they go, cool, it's whatever it was, 11 grand, and you get a year warranty. And I know that warranties from used car salesmen can be a bit iffy occasionally. Yeah, I know. And it said, what?
There's a glitch in the matrix. Can you see over there? Maybe you can't see.
Is it a car dealership?
No. There's two cars that you never see that are both exactly the same.
Smarts?
Two pink smart cars.
Two pink smart cars, exactly the same.
That's
like
so weird.
Promoting something.
So weird. Anyway, sorry, Martin, back to it.
So you know,
we're on Chapel Road, Bankstown, this is the car dealership. No, we're there, Martin.
It was going to be like 11. It was going to be like 11 grand or something for the car, and you get a year's warranty. And I said, is that your best price? And he goes, my best price is you can have it for 10. And I'm like, oh, 10's about right. That was the budget I had, I think, for the Polo at the time. That was reasonably good. And it was the right colour, it was the exact car I wanted. And the reason I was at a dealer is because there weren't any private ones that were what I wanted.
Oh, it sucks when you've got to go to a dealer.
Yeah, and I bought the car, and then he put the paperwork in front of me, and I read it, and you should always read it. And it said, cool, for $1,000 you don't get any warranty. For $1,000 off,
I thought they had to give you warranty.
We're just taking it away.
Oh, they make you sign it away.
They make you sign it away.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. We ended up negotiating something like it was shorter warranty, but $500 or something. And because it was a dealer, I kind of wanted a warranty because, I don't know, man, I kind of, with secondhand stuff, a lot of the time you buy the car based on the person you're buying it off a lot of the time.
Yes,
if they're like, oh, I serviced it, here's the log things, it's fine, or someone's being dodgy, you can usually tell.
Yeah. We want to hear your dealer stories, is the short version.
Stories.
So tell us about your dealer stories. We've arrived at our dealer, but before we go in, it's time for Random Eat Bag.
This is like perfectly timed eat bag because we just got here.
It is. What is in here though?
Always hungry.
That is the question. Each week we try and
Oh, we've got a letter. I love it when we have a letter.
Do we have a letter? Oh, there is a letter. Martin, you have a look at the letter, and I'm going to have a look at the snacks here. We've got El Charrito Mexican candy. That's cool, man. That's something really different.
Sometimes this stuff like gets mixed up in the post. I hope this is the right thing, but this is pretty cool.
Martin, we've got Casa del Dolce Pulparindo.
I want to send some cool stuff your way. Thanks for being here. You are doing what we do, bringing people together. It's not a small thing. Thanks, man. That's really, really nice of you. I'm a small independent ceramics artist in Albuquerque. Albuquerque!
That's
Breaking
cool.
Bad, dude.
Yeah,
Breaking
awesome.
Bad. Mostly like to make Japanese tea wares. Oh, that's cool, but double in everything. Primarily on Etsy. It's called Happy Cat Pottery. You should look at it. Cool.
Happy Cat, check it out. Happy Cat Pottery on Etsy.
Then it goes on and on and on. Yeah, cool. What else? Do a rotary. So a pottery person that's into rotaries.
That sounds cool.
I'm going to do a crap car in my town. Please do. Bring a meet to the southwest. Man, I'd love to go to the southwest and do a meet in America.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be so good. One day we'll get there. I don't know when, but I really
maybe that's
really
something that
go.
we don't normally do the fan funding thing, but maybe if like enough people from that area go, yes, we'll do it, and we'll buy an entry ticket in advance, we might be able to afford to go there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome because it's a long ways. Because we can get to the west coast easy, but on the southwest. No, southwest. We've been there, and we can do it again. I want to go southeast as well.
Everybody, this is what we've got here.
Good on you, Mark.
Polporindo, thank you very much for the letter. This is hot and salted tamarind pulp candy with real fruit.
Oh, you know when your mouth does that thing?
Real.
Does that thing.
Ingredients, Martin: sugar, tamarind pulp, corn syrup, iodized salt, citric acid, ground chili, sodium benzoate, and preservative freshness.
You sure about this?
Yeah, man. Let's just have a crack. Thank you for watching the Unicorn Circuit.
Mark Foster, thank you very much, my friend.
Salted chili fruit pulp. Delicious.
That's one of the strangest things I've ever eaten. Oh! Oh my god! Oh wow! Oh, it's like sweet and chili and so. Oh, my mouth's foaming, dude.
Martin,
something really
I
weird.
found something in the gutter we should talk about quickly.
Oh! Thanks, that's weird. I mean, it is weird.
I've never eaten anything like it.
It's random food.
That's a memorable. Oh, it's getting hot.
Oh, it's doing something strange.
Martin, I just found something in the
People
gutter
eat these for fun. Yep.
that we should talk about. Australia used to be able to promote cigarettes in footy games and on the TV. And then they're like, nah, make them plain packaging because they don't want kids to like it. Now, they've changed them so they have photos of sick people on them. There's no safe amount of smoke. Some of them are really grot. They've got like, I will go and put that in the bin. Some of them are really grot. They've got like cancers and ulcers
they
and
cut up
gross
brains
stuff.
and lungs
then
and all the stuff
so if you buy that, there's a photo of that stuff on there. Dark way to finish the show, I know, but it's welcome to Australia. Thank you very much for watching the show, everybody. We'll see you next time. We're going to go into this dealer and try and cut a deal. Do you reckon he's going to do us a good price?
Nope.
He's not going to do shit, is he?
Nope.
All right, let's go.